So let me guess, you're here probably because you're feeling a little overwhelmed in career confusion. Maybe you're feeling like the path is not really clear, you're not sure what to do next, you just know something isn't working right now, and that's totally okay. I'm a career coach and I've been there before. Rebecca, can you relate at all?
Yeah, I can definitely relate. Lots of years that I spent in confusion about what I wanted, and it sucked.
And hey, we're doing great now, so listen to us. But really, I want to talk about how career confusion, it's not your fault. It's part of the system that we live in right now, but it is your responsibility to do something about it because no one else is going to do it for you, not the education system, not your boss. And so I want to get some wisdom from Rebecca today about how we can navigate the changing times the best we can, knowing that it's not our fault, but it is our responsibility to do something.
I'm Rebecca, and together we have over 15 years of combined experience as career coaches, helping people who are dissatisfied with their job to get clarity on what they want and make successful career changes.
So most people blame themselves for confusion, overwhelm, dissatisfaction with their career, but this is not really fair to them. But I do want to point out that if you want to not only just survive but thrive in the economy that we're heading into, you're going to need to take responsibility for how to navigate the times ahead. So once you understand the difference between, yes, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility, everything will change for you. And I have really high hopes that you'll start seeing results in whatever you want to do in your career. So I want to ask Rebecca, what would you say to someone who feels like their career woes, their career confusion is entirely their fault?
I think if you're confused in your career, that there's lots of reasons that's so. And the more we blame ourselves or beat ourselves up for that, the more confused we're likely to feel because stress makes us stupid. And being confused is really common and really normal these days because there's so many options out there available to us. It's really not cut and dried how we should live our life or what our career should look like or what we should do. So those 20 options we were presented in high school by our high school career counselors, it's not really relevant anymore. And we haven't been taught how to navigate all the options that are out there.
Rebecca hit on some things that are so important for you to understand. We're not prepped for the economy that we live in now or the one that we seem to be heading into, which is really just defined by change, constant change. So traditional career advice, let's say from your mom or dad, Uncle Ray, I don't know, whoever, if they're telling you like all you have to do is hand in your resume or try harder or what role are you looking for, just know that this advice doesn't really apply anymore. So Rebecca, how has the world of work changed in ways that we may not have been prepared for?
The world of work has changed in terms of there's less progression usually within a company. There's less middle management than there used to be. I mean, companies back in the day used to do everything, right? Sourcing to manufacturing to distribution to marketing, sales, and you could move around within those companies. And now, because so much is outsourced, there's less of that progression naturally laid out for us on a career trajectory. We kind of have to find our own way a bit more and navigate how we want to grow, whether that looks like a pivot within our company, but more often than not, it can look like taking on work at a new place of work. It could even just be a lateral move. And technology is rapidly changing. So things are less predictable. And we have to learn how to be very adaptable and to shapeshift. So things aren't structured in such a clear-cut way as we were told to expect in our careers.
So we're not here to be doom and gloom. I want to present a solution, and I call it the meta skill of career. So yes, we need skills to actually like have the career we want. If you're a data analyst, you know how to use a spreadsheet. But really, one of the things we need now is career skills so that we know how to navigate the world of work. This means we focus on how to navigate your career versus what do I need to do for my career? It seems to be a question that we're going to have to answer multiple times in our life with the economy we're going into. So, with that in mind, I want to talk to Rebecca about what is self-clarity and why is it a foundational skill for the meta skill of navigating your career.
I love this. So self-clarity is something I think so important as well. So if we know amongst all the change around us, if we at least know who we are, what we're good at, the value we bring, and how to communicate that, then we're able to adapt and navigate our way out of career confusion.
So I'll go a little bit more into what self-clarity is, the elements of self-clarity. There's 4 main elements. The first one is self-understanding. So this means gaining an understanding of our own values, our strengths, non-negotiables in our career, even our internal belief system, and getting an idea of how that guides us so that we have an understanding of what's influencing us and what's important to us uniquely. So that's 1. Number 2 is a vision of your future. So this is an articulation of your long-term goals that align with your own personal definition of success. So the third element of self-clarity is to take action with opportunities that are aligned with you. And this means taking real steps, sometimes on the edge of your comfort zone, so that you can really test and see what is aligning with, like we said, self-understanding your vision. Do you have any other thoughts on that?
I would just really emphasize this point that clarity comes from taking action a lot of the time. So it's not just sitting around thinking about things. Like, take action once you've reflected a bit, and that'll really solidify what you want and where you want to head for your next step.
It's easier said than done for some perfectionists, but if you could just take imperfect action, that will get you so much farther than if you just think about it hard enough. And then the fourth element of self-clarity is having a practical pathway to go after what you're aiming for, that future vision. And what I would suggest is being realistic. Okay, like these are the steps I can do now, breaking down what seems like an overwhelming step into smaller steps, maybe even micro steps. So essentially, it's having a realistic strategy that matches your reality. Maybe also question what is realistic sometimes, because you don't want to totally box yourself in. So we're talking about change a lot. Rebecca, how is someone supposed to have a long-term vision when the world and sometimes even our own interests seem to change so quickly?
Really good question. It's really important, I think, to create a vision and keep in mind that it might change and that it can, and that you can have a goalpost that moves and it doesn't need to be set in stone. So I notice a lot of people will even hold back from making a vision because what if this, or what if this, or, oh, it doesn't have to be that I make this amount of money. I'd be okay with less if I had this flexibility in my work, right? Like, just write down what that vision is of what you want and don't be attached to it, but use it as a marker and a goalpost to follow.
Yeah, I like this saying, time will pass anyway. I think about this, where you could not have a goal at all, and then you miss out on learning more about yourself and what you want, because that's how you know anyway. But time will pass anyway. You'll turn 40, 50, 60 with or without a changing vision. But if you can have something to look towards, I like the lighthouse analogy, where it's like we all want to move. Staying stuck is not a nice feeling. So if you want to move, have something in the distance, have your lighthouse, your vision, and you'll be navigating through maybe some rocks here and there. But what help you navigate is that self-understanding, the elements of self-clarity. And if you want to move the lighthouse, like, you can actually do that, and you're still going in a direction that matters. If you had just stayed still and stuck, you wouldn't have learned anything, and it wouldn't have felt very good. What other risks do you think there are in not having a vision?
I was just thinking about how Mark Manson, who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, he talks about goals are not necessarily meant to be achieved exactly as how you lay them out, but they're there to help you move forward in a direction that you want to go. So thinking of a vision the same way, it's just there to help guide you, but you don't necessarily need to achieve it. It's about like the learning and the growth and the just not being stuck, like you were talking about along the way.
Thanks for sharing that with us. So we've talked a little bit about this, but I want to dive a little deeper into the benefits of self-clarity. So it helps you filter through opportunities quickly. You're going to get a lot of opportunities coming at you in this economy, in this world of work, and be able to quickly act on them or say this is not for me is going to save you a lot of mental headspace. And then this also feeds into the fact that once you have your self-clarity, you can make confident decisions. Again, this will clear a lot of headspace. I mean, at the end of the day, we want not just a career, we want a fuller life that it supports. So you're going to want to have mental headspace, energy for that.
It's really about how do you make intentional decisions and navigate your career as things come up. And that's how a career works rather than like in the past, it might have been a longer 10, 20-year vision that you work backwards from. And now it's really like, how do I intentionally make these wise decisions for myself and feel clear and confident in those decisions as they come up and pivot to the next thing from there, hopefully making tweaks and improvements along the way.
I think Rebecca summed it up really nice. I mean, there's the myriad of benefits. I would also say that you're starting to create opportunities rather than just react to them when you have self-clarity. So what could seem impossible starts to become a lot more possible when we understand our own agency and making things happen. So what we want you to walk away with today is that, yes, the world is changing, but the foundation to navigating the new world of work is that self-clarity skill. This will help you navigate any changes successfully, however you define success. So, Rebecca, from our conversation today, what are your key insights?
That we live in a really uncertain world. Things change really quickly. It's easy to get confused because there's so many options and everything's changing quickly. And that the way out of all this chaos and confusion is knowing ourselves and looking for opportunities and testing them out.
Yeah. So just remember, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to have self-clarity and learn how to navigate your career. And, at least we're here to support you. There's a lot of resources to be able to do that. You're not on your own for that too. But, make yourself accountable to that for your own good. And we're cheering you on. I'm rooting for you.
You got it.
You got it. Okay, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today. It helps us know what to make more videos of. And if you know someone that's in career confusion, don't hesitate to share this with them.
Thanks for watching.